It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Kyle Benedict as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Kyle Benedict. Today we are sitting down with the Department of Economic Security, and we're welcoming in studio Barbara Ball. She's the Community Engagement Liaison for the Northern Arizona region. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Kyle.
So as a Community Engagement Liaison, what is that role? What does that mean? And explain the region.
So there's three of us throughout Arizona. I handle the northern region. April Jones handles the Maricopa Central region, and Rosalva Zimmerman handles the southern region. The purpose of the community liaison for the Office of the Director is to go out into the communities and bring awareness to the different divisions and programs that DES offers. We handle more than just food stamps and unemployment. There's over 40 programs. Part of our job is also to go out and meet with community partners and stakeholders and find out what the current issues are and how we can be of assistance, and also participate in the initiative to facilitate change.
Okay, man. So you're Northern Arizona region.
Yes.
Northern Arizona, what does that exactly mean? North of where? And
so it's a big territory. I go from the Nevada border to Utah to New Mexico, then I come down to I-40 over here into the Verde Valley.
Wow.
And I also handle La Paz County, which is Parker, Lake Havasu.
Okay. A lot of driving, huh?
Lots of windshield time, yes.
I imagine the Northern Arizona region, there's, I would imagine different needs than maybe down in the more Phoenix area. I might not be right with that, but you have a lot of rural areas and rural communities up here in Northern Arizona. In terms of with you driving around and talking to these communities and seeing what their needs are, what seems to be some of the common needs within your region?
So within Northern Arizona, and I'm pretty sure this is probably throughout the state of Arizona, the needs don't really change much as far as issues that are out there. Specifically, homelessness is a big issue throughout the entire state of Arizona. And interestingly enough, up in Flagstaff, they have created an initiative called Front Door to serve the homeless. We can visit about that as well. There is transportation, which Maricopa is really great with transportation and assisting with that throughout the city itself. I'm not sure about, the rural areas there. I know in Northern Arizona, transportation is a very big issue. So that's another initiative that's being addressed as well. And then, of course, you have rural health care and hunger. Feeding the hungry. Right,
yeah. And as you mentioned at the beginning, I think when people think of DES, Department of Economic Security, and you're here to expand on this for sure, they think of food stamps and, as you mentioned, unemployment. I think that's what the department does, right? But you're here to expand on that and talk about some of the divisions. You have 6 divisions?
We have 6 divisions. I'll just briefly go through them. We have the Division of Aging and Adult Services, and that covers everything from the long-term care ombudsman services to offering companion services. It's all inclusive, and there's many, many, many different programs there. We have the Division of Benefits and Medical Eligibility, which is the food stamps and Medicaid access application. We have the Division of Child Support and Services, which is not to be confused with DCS.
Okay.
And they handle, of course, collection of child support, but they also do paternity testing and try to involve the absent parent. We have the Division of Developmental Disabilities. That's a tough one to say. And that's pretty self-explanatory. And then we have the Department of Employment and Rehabilitation Services. And they are the individuals that help people find jobs, Arizona at Work. The rehabilitation services isn't necessarily physical. That's really helping people who have challenges find employment as well. And then we have what's called Arizona, we call it AZIP, so it's Arizona Early Intervention Program, and that helps families and parents with children with disabilities of various types from 0 to 3 years. So we have several different divisions. Each division has its own liaison.
Oh.
So there's myself, April, and Rosalva. We are the regional. And then the divisional liaisons are statewide. And their purpose and function is to go out throughout the state and make people aware of these specific programs and the details of each program and then connect.
Okay. Well, just talking with you, I mean, before the show and just when we were setting up, scheduling this, that seems like a tough job. I mean, there's a lot of programs as we're talking about, but just a lot of things that you guys do, and you cover a lot of different areas.
Correct.
And it seems like getting the community to understand all of those different programs and services you offer seems to be pretty, I imagine that's pretty challenging, especially when you have people, food stamps and employment. Maybe they think of Department of Economic Security. So in terms of, I guess, your role as a liaison, what is kind of because there's a lot of, and we have them in on countywide, a lot of local groups that do a lot of great things in helping out with the community and homeless and those people in need. How do you work with some of those local groups? Is it just kind of the same thing, letting them know of some of the services and where you can help?
Actually, I attend a lot of coalition meetings and initiative meetings, forum panels, as part of the initiative to participate and help facilitate the change as well. One of the things that DES is doing and has done last year is the community roundtables, where we invite the community partners and the stakeholders for this event. They come in, we do a brief presentation. We're having one May 10th up in Flagstaff. There will be one down central and one southern as well. And it is going over systems change to help people get out of poverty. After that, they're going to break into work groups, and once they do that, then the determination is what are the issues surrounding Flagstaff and the surrounding communities, and how can we partner together to move forward to create change. What I have noticed in attending a lot of meetings throughout my region is people have great intentions of forming committees and initiatives, but they're all doing the same thing. So part of my job is to make sure that they're aware that there may be another committee meeting addressing the exact same issue and get them all connected, because they all want to do the same thing. But if we all do it together, then it makes it a lot simpler, and then the interest stays in play and the change occurs.
Well, yeah, and I imagine for somebody starting a small group who, as you mentioned, wants to do good and help out, it's got to be challenging. It's got to be challenging trying to start that, get awareness up, get, whether it's the financials in order or getting the money to help out, knowing that there's a department or a larger group that can help out, especially if you guys are wanting the same thing and have the same overall goal. And the fact that you guys are doing these community roundtables and working with the community, I think, is something that's really important for people to understand. So we're going to take our first break already. When we come back, sitting down with Barbara Ball. She's the Community Engagement Liaison with Department of Economic Security, the Northern Arizona region. We'll talk about some of the programs offered. A good phone number for the Phoenix office, 602-542-4791. Online, des.az.gov. This is Countywide. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
The Q102.9 plays all the hits.
Yo, what's going on? This is Trizzy Drake.
Ariana Grande.
Maroon 5.
This is Rihanna.
I'm Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
Ed Sheeran.
What's up, guys? It's Justin Bieber.
You're listening to The Weeknd.
Start your day with Brian James in the morning. You'll get at least 10 songs in a row during your ride home with Julie Page.
Zach Sang Show.
Catch the Zach Sang Show weeknights 7 to midnight. And Kelly Fox weekends on your home for hit music. The Q102.9 and 104.9 in Prescott and Cottonwood.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child swallowed household cleaner, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first to speak with medical professionals who can give you free personal advice anytime. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life.
Hello, I'm Jen Cohen, host of Verde Valley TV's hit TV show, The Verde Valley Experience. On each episode, we feature local organizations, nonprofits, persons of interest, events, activities, and great local musicians. It's informative, it's entertaining, it's fun. It's the Verde Valley Experience.
We meet online, and I tell you, I'm falling in love. I have to see you in person, but I need a loan for the ticket. I really think you're the one. And I really think you're desperate. Sure enough, you sent cash and never see me again. Too smart to fall for this? Last year alone, 12 million Americans lost money this way. Can you believe it? You shouldn't. I made that up, too. Might not be as smart as you thought you were.
Welcome back to Countywide. I'm Kyle Benedict, still with Barbara Ball, Community Engagement Liaison with the Northern Arizona region of the Department of Economic Security, talking about all their programs and just, everything that the department does, a lot of stuff. We talked about before break some of the work they're doing with local communities and just getting the message out on all the different services offered. So let's go through some of those. You mentioned a lot of, not just across the country, but here throughout the state, homeless is a big issue with a lot of people. There's a statewide homeless program. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. So we have a statewide representative, Alfred Edwards, who handles the funding for the different initiatives that are out throughout Arizona. One of those initiatives and programs helps to fund the Flagstaff shelter up on Huntington. And his responsibility is to make sure that the funding is allocated throughout the state to help. But there's also programs like pre-eviction, which is done, I believe, on a case-by-case basis. So there's different programs, there's different funding. What is amazing and unique about the program, and specifically Mr. Edwards, is that when I called him at one point because the funding had been allocated and used elsewhere, I said, do we have any other programs? And he said, the Arizona Lottery offers funding to build shelters, and Home Depot will also donate the supplies. So that's something that I share when I'm out in the community as well.
Really?
Yes, it's fascinating that there are programs out there. I believe Wells Fargo is coming up with a program as well. So DES assists, but we also are able to relay other resources throughout the communities.
Yeah, just getting that message out there. How many local organizations are there that help with that issue of homelessness and help putting people up for the night or giving them shelter or finding food for them? So just knowing, again, that service is out there. What about, we're going to kind of go through some of these because there's a lot of programs.
Sure. But
what about the Hot Meals Ebt restaurant program?
So that's a program, again, that is administered and monitored by the Division of Benefits and Medical Eligibility, and Barbara Ruddy is the liaison for that division. She's the one I always refer people to pertaining to the Ebt Hot Meals Program. That initiative is doing very well in Maricopa County. It requires restaurants to participate in the program where they will take the EBT, otherwise known as the food card. It serves, the population that it serves are 60 and above, those who are disabled, and the homeless. So part of what I was trying to do up here is find some partner restaurants, and in doing some research, both Barbara and I realized that this program is underutilized here in Arizona, but in California, the restaurants that utilize that have noticed that they have a $10,000 plus increase in revenue. So with all the minimum wage increases and issues surrounding that, that's kind of a plus to help offset that cost.
Okay, great. And moving on, Division for Aging and Adult Services.
So that is a very large division, and one of the programs that I can speak of is the Arizona Commodity Supplemental Food Program, which serves seniors. It's like WIC for seniors, and it is a program that is in addition to the food stamp, the food card. Again, that's administered by that division, and they would actually go into a DES office to apply for that.
Okay. And again, for more information on these, they can call that Phoenix number. That works?
Correct.
Okay. And
that
then
is correct.
There's also a number directly to get you in touch with Barbara, and she can kind of direct you from there. But 480-486-2688. And then we also have educational training, employment assistance, and just other benefits surrounding that. Talk about that.
So that is the Division of Employment and Rehabilitation Services, and that is where people come in and they can actually come into a DES location Up in Flagstaff, we have a multi-service center. They can get on the computer, they can type up their resume, they can do their own searches. And then we have representatives that assist them with looking for active employment. On the rehabilitative side, that helps assist individuals with their needs pertaining to finding gainful employment as well.
Okay.
It's a more specialized division for that same program.
Okay, gotcha. And moving on, residential care programs, caregiver support, and reimbursement.
That's part of the Division of Aging and Adult Services.
Okay.
It's under that umbrella, and they would just contact the Phoenix number to get in touch with that individual. I do know that I worked with a representative at a conference last year, and she was giving out brochures about reimbursement for caregivers. So again, that's a program that the information can be obtained by calling the Phoenix number and then asking for the Division of Aging and Adult Services.
Okay. And people across the state, throughout the
Yes.
state, are eligible for this, right?
Correct. It is a statewide program.
Statewide
Correct.
program, okay. Another thing I wanted to mention was your new, I believe it's a new program, your mobile unit, on-the-go unit. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, DES on the Go, that's an exciting initiative and program that I believe has been in force for over a year. I'm not exactly sure what the inception date was, but it is a mobile unit that has all of the supplies necessary, and then one of the DES staff member or several go out into the rural areas, and this is a statewide initiative. So for Northern Arizona, the Page office will take that vehicle and go to Fredonia, Colorado City, and actually Littlefield. And what they do with that particular service is they go out and they take the applications and they can approve them right there on the spot for services. And these are for the individuals that cannot get into a DES office because they're so rural, or they have no means of transportation, or they may not have the money to do it as well. Alongside of that, we have DES on the Spot, which is an actual physical location. And to give you an example, our Kingman representative, Joseph Baker, flies down into Supai twice a month to offer DES on the spot, to offer those services and check up on applications.
Really?
Yeah.
In the Grand Canyon?
Yeah, pretty cool.
Wow,
yeah.
Really? So again, that's just more of getting the message out there for people.
Correct.
I mean,
and allowing them to get the services, because there's so many situations where they're not able to get into a DES office. We also have what we call SNAP partners, which are nonprofit organizations that will take an application and then fax it into the local DES office. And for some of these people, they can't even get to a SNAP partner. And we have over 300 locations throughout the state for that.
Wow. Man,
Right.
a lot going on, a lot for you to know.
It is.
Driving around this whole northern part of the state, it's a huge area. A lot of, I mean, for you, I imagine this on the go, the DES on the go mobile unit and some of this spot stuff. I mean, that has to, I imagine, be more useful in your area, your Northern Arizona region, right, with the rural communities. It
really started, I believe, the major area was in the southern portion, and then it expanded up to the northern region. It's a huge benefit to those in the rural area, and in the northern region as well, I think, as in the southern region, it serves a lot of those on the reservations who really don't have a means, because the geographical territory is so vast.
Right.
They don't have a means to actually get into an office or even have a partner location close by. So it's a huge service. It's one of the ways that DES helps Arizonans in need.
Is that another statewide thing, or is that now just way up there around
DES on the go?
Yeah.
No, it's statewide.
It's statewide, so
It
throughout
is statewide.
Yavapai County, people can, if they live in a rural part of the county.
So for northern, it services the far regions. It services Kayenta, Tiknos Pass, Chinle, Red Valley, then Fredonia, Colorado City, Littlefield. So that's the northern region, and then the southern region has its areas. It's really meant for those that are in far distance, remote areas.
Okay, gotcha. And I imagine call this number again, 602-542-4791 for more questions on how to get information or just learn about these services. And again, we're just touching on these really quickly. So we're going to take our second break, coming back in a couple minutes, continue our conversation with Barbara Ball. See you in a few.
The Q102.9 plays all the hits.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy Drake.
Ariana Grande.
Maroon 5.
This is Rihanna.
I'm Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
Ed Sheeran.
What's up, guys? It's Justin Bieber.
You're listening to The Weeknd.
Start your day with Brian James in the morning. You'll get at least 10 songs in a row during your ride home with Julie Page.
Zach Sang Show.
Catch the Zach Sang Show weeknights 7 to midnight. And Kelly Fox weekends on your home for hit music. The Q102.9 and 104.9 in Prescott and Cottonwood.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child swallowed household cleaner, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first to speak with medical professionals who can give you free personal advice anytime. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life.
Hello, I'm Jen Cohen, host of Verde Valley TV's hit TV show, The Verde Valley Experience. On each episode, we feature local organizations, nonprofits, persons of interest, events, activities, and great local musicians. It's informative, it's entertaining, it's fun. It's the Verde Valley Experience.
We meet online, and I tell you, I'm falling in love. I have to see you in person, but I need a loan for the ticket. I really think you're the one. And I really think you're desperate. Sure enough, you sent cash and never see me again. Too smart to fall for this? Last year alone, 12 million Americans lost money this way. Can you believe it? You shouldn't. I made that up, too. Might not be as smart as you thought you were.
Welcome back to Countywide. I'm Kyle Benedict, sitting down with Barbara Ball, Community Engagement Liaison with the Northern Arizona region with Department of Economic Security. For more information on all these services and departments that we're talking about, and actually to view the list of all the services and more information, you can go to the website as well, des.az.gov. Great information on there. Real quick before we go, we got about 90 seconds. You wanted to talk about this, the Office of the Ombudsman. What is that?
Yes, so the Office of the Ombudsman is one specific phone number that people can call when they have concerns, issues, complaints, even suggestions and some great ideas. And what they do is they reach out to the respective division, and I believe they have 72 hours to get some sort of resolution. It's really a great service because in the past, people didn't know where to call or, who to refer to with regards to services or even ideas. Even internally, it's great for our staff internally because they can then refer a client or a prospective client to the Ombudsman, and they will direct them. They're an amazing, amazing division.
And is this a pretty new division here?
I believe it is,
Okay.
and it's also under the Office of the Director. So they report directly to the Director about the calls and resolution.
Great. I'm looking at the brochure right here on this, and it's just with the programs they assist with, as you mentioned, a ton of stuff: medical eligibility, child support, child care, employment, developmental disabilities, rehabilitation services, adult protective services, a ton of great information. And again, the website, all this stuff is on there as well, des.az.gov. Again, that Phoenix office phone number, 602-542-4791. And before we go, I'll throw you out Barbara's number as well, 480-486-2688. All out of time. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Again, Department of Economic Security, des.az.gov for information on all this. That's going to do it for today's Countywide. We'll see you next time.